Welcome back, internet friends. Today, I'm taking you, along with me, on a little adventure with OFFERUP. That's right, today we're gonna drop $2,800 on a car that is over 20 years old. We're in the hunt for a 1998 Honda Civic, and I think I found just the right one. I found this 1998 Honda Civic on OFFERUP. I've been hunting for them, and you might think to yourself, why would Serge even want a 22-year-old car? Why would you want a 98 Civic in 2020? Well, I currently have a Prius, and the Prius has close to 100,000 miles. And I've had 4 Honda Civics in the past. Now, those old Honda Civics have cheap repairs. Lately, I'm back to catering, so I'm really excited. I'm making good money again. I need a second workhorse vehicle to divide the mileage and keep my Prius from going too many miles, because there's all sorts of problems as my Prius gets older and I put over 100,000 miles. Potentially the battery could die. There's a lot of sensors and expensive repairs. So eventually I want to sell this Prius and just have the 98 Civic. With the 98 Civic, I can take it to any mechanic and they will do the repairs for really cheap. You can find Honda parts, even used parts, really abundantly with the Honda Civic, so it makes the repairs incredibly affordable. It gets like 27 to 32 mpg, which is also really good for delivery driving. Right now, gas is fairly cheap, so the mpg isn't a huge deal to me, stepping down from the Prius, which gets 54 to 48 miles per gallon. Now, I specifically have been looking for a 97 or a 98. I nostalgically love the 6th generation of Honda Civics, made from 1996 until 2000. I feel the late 90s were a good time for Honda as a car manufacturer. They've been refining and developing the Honda Civic since the early 70s, and I feel it was nearly perfect with the 6th generation. The newer ones are okay, but more recent Honda models, I feel like the quality just isn't there like it was in the late 90s. One of these cars, if you can find it with low mileage, like this one only has 133,000 miles on it, it will drive close to 200,000 miles if you take care of it. I'm gonna find out just what the condition of this one looks like. The most important thing to me is that it's in good mechanical condition, because I can have my friends down in Mexico at Superior Auto Body fix up the paint and any small dents. We had a little bit of 5 o'clock traffic, but now things are moving. This is a bit of a mission. The car is an hour and 20-minute drive from where I live. I have to go get my dad, who's out that direction, and he's gonna drive my car home, this Prius, while I drive the Civic home. I just got a message from the person selling the car as I'm almost there to get it. I've been driving like an hour, and they say there are more people on the way to come see it right after me. It was my hypothesis that because this car was such a good price and it looks like such a good deal, there would be a lot of people trying to snag it. So it's now becoming a little bit of a competition to see who can get this car in time. I just picked up my dad and he's gonna be helping me drive the car back. Let's go get this car, Dad.
Let's do it.
I bought the car from a college student in her late 20s named Jocelyn. She was really nervous because of COVID-19, so she insisted we sanitize our hands and keep our masks on for the test drive. During the test drive, I pick her brain about the history of the car.
So how long did you say you had this car for?
If she knows where that dent came from. She says she bought it like that. If it has any issues or if it does anything unusual I should know about. I assumed this college girl was a Catholic because there were multiple rosaries in the car and the key had this cartoon Virgin Mary attached to it. This gave me a good impression she probably wasn't a party type college student. While driving, I listen to and I feel the brakes as I pull up to stop signs. On the freeway, I pay attention to the feel of the shifting of the gears, just to make sure the transmission shifts smoothly. That's the most important thing, that the car has a good transmission and a good motor. When I go over speed bumps, I can hear a click on the driver's side, which sounds like it's coming from the axle. I also could feel it a little bit when I turn the wheel all the way to one direction. It came with the original Honda stereo, a tape deck, and it was clear that somebody had broken in and stolen the cigarette charge port. but it did have power locks, power windows, an alarm, and a nice moonroof. As you can see, the odometer only has 133,000 miles on it. Lastly, I look under the hood to make sure there's no leaks, the hoses look good, the belts look good, just to see if there's anything obviously wrong with the engine or underneath the hood. And then I like to take a look under the car where it's been parked just to see if it leaks anything. The 23-year-old car definitely could use some TLC. There is some cosmetic damage, but the motor and the transmission feel strong. So I decided to take it, and I can get that cosmetic damage repaired in Mexico. So the dog and myself are on a mission to Mexico. We are headed to Zona Rio in Tijuana for some improvements on the Honda Civic. I found a pretty good mechanic at Medina's Garage on 3rd Street. The Honda Civic was in need of an oil change, a transmission fluid flush, and a replacement of the axle arm on the driver's side. Luckily, we found an AutoZone walking distance from Medina's Garage, and with my dad's Spanish, I bought all the parts needed for about $125. Once we had the parts, the labor was quick and only $50 for all the work. Soon enough, I was on my way to relax in the Rosarito Beach House until more work could be finished the next day. The next morning, I stopped into my friends at Superior Auto Body. You may remember them from my van video. I trusted them to repair the bumper's paint and the dent on the passenger side. While I was at it, I couldn't resist tinting the windows. These were the same guys who did the tinted windows on my van. The tinting crew went to work at the same time as the sanding began, while the dog and I relaxed on the couch. This is the way they fix the dent, drilling holes into it and popping it back into place with some special tool. The holes would later be filled and repainted. And meanwhile, the tinting crew is working hard and almost finished. And Buffy, well, you know, she's doing her thing too. After the sanding, they used the door of my gas cap to make a matching paint, while someone else continues the filler prep work. In quick time, the tinting guys finished the rear windows, and they even did a few inches on the front just to keep the sun out of my eyes. Now, the crew starts masking off the car and preparing it for paint. At that point, I decided to get myself and the dog some fresh air while they paint, and I go find tacos. There's a lot to see in Tijuana, including a big juggling scene. I also saw a lot of kindness as locals tried to give this homeless man food and clothing. I return and the Honda Civic is being sprayed with fresh paint, and that dented door is no more. You never would have known they poked holes in it. The last finishing touch I wanted to do was to swap out the old stock Honda sound system, and under $100 I could have a unit with Bluetooth and USB charging port installed. Now I have a 90s car but with modern technology. Luckily for me, crossing the border at Otay Mesa was quick and with almost no line. If you found this video informative or helpful, please help me out by smashing the like button. Leave a comment, tell me what you think. Feel free to share this video with a friend. Go ahead and subscribe, please. I do make videos all the time. Thank you again so much for watching. Good luck to you out there, and just have a great day.